Women have less access to healthcare and their well-being is not a priority in most Indian households. As per National Crime Records Bureau, the NCRB, in 2020 India recorded 19 dowry deaths every day. As per Global Gender Gap Report in 2020, it would take the world 100 years to achieve gender parity. But thanks to COVID, the estimate has now changed to 135.6 years. As of 2019, 1 in 3 of the world's child brides lived in India. In 2020, over 50% of the 44,000 women who died by suicide in India were housewives. The elimination of girl-child marriages can avoid 27,000 neonatal deaths, 55,000 infant deaths, and 1,60,000 child deaths. In recent times, in top CEO position or as a pilot, when women join the workforce in an industry dominated by men, we are celebrating it as something very big. But when men take up the roles usually done by women or in the household chores, we do see it as something big or an act of equality. It is still not talked about. When something is deemed powerful or heroic, everyone wants to do that. On the other hand, the mundane things of everyday life are not seen as heroic. We do not see it as something special and just oversee it. Then how will the other gender be willing to do that? We feel that we are better and more safe when compared to Syria and Afghanistan. But according to a survey in 2018, India was the most dangerous country for women. How is that possible? Does danger denote only physical danger or physical crimes? It is not just that, because women who are fighting for safety say that installing CCTV cameras or increasing police patrol does not denote safety. Safety is different for both men and women. Crime happens rarely, but the fear that the crime might happen puts constant pressure on us. To remove that fear, the society has to give us confidence. Women should be able to trust men. For that, women should have a good opinion about men. It is 100% true that all men are not bad. But when majority of men make women feel unsafe, how will the women be able to trust the men? As long as the men around me are trustworthy, I feel that the world is safe. But is it the same for everyone? In 2020, over 50% of the 44,000 women who died by suicide in India were housewives. Is it the same everywhere? These are the questions. The language that we use, the movies that we watch, the news that is reported. If all of this makes us feel that this world is unsafe, then how will we believe that there is safety? When there is constant fear, how can we loiter? The author has mentioned about a book titled Why Loiter? Most of the time, the transportation by women from one place to another is functional. They have goals where they have to do certain things within a particular time. At least in schools and colleges, the girls had some free time to chat with other girls and do other things. But after a point, female friendships don't thrive or become strong, because after their working hours are over, the women have to go back home and cook. We see a lot of women chopping vegetables while going back home on the train to get ready for cooking. We can witness this in the China trains. When a woman has a list of work to do after going home, how can they chill after office work? Only a few are able to do that. Is leisure a comfortable feeling for women? When a group of people are going home, a group of men will be sitting and discussing in the hall while the ladies get into the kitchen. The women will want to support each other in the kitchen. Because when a woman serves, the other women feel guilty, because women are trained to serve, to take care of somebody, to give, but not to receive. So, when women are idle, they have a guilt feeling. There is the feeling of being unproductive. Because right from childhood, women are not allowed to sit idle and are asked to do something. So, involving in leisure activities or talking to other girls, feels like a guilty pleasure, and there is the reminder that the woman has something to do all the time. Right from household chores, it is a very difficult context. As per Global Gender Gap Report in 2020, it would take the world 100 years to achieve gender parity. But thanks to COVID, the estimate has now changed to 135.6 years. Government is constantly bringing a lot of schemes. Schemes like Save the Daughter, Educate the Daughter do exist. But 56% of the funds were spent for marketing. They had spent more on marketing than the actual cause. And villages where there are no schools or where the schools are far away. When traveling itself is unsafe, how will the girls go to school? There are many such questions. There are seats for women in the panchayat. But do they avail it? Even if they win the elections, the one who takes charge is the husband or the son, while the woman contests the election just for namesake. The men who oppose giving a certain percentage of seats to women in the parliament make the mother or the wife contest the elections just for namesake, and the men take charge. The very bad thing is, the wife contested the elections and won. Their photos and name is shown everywhere. But the person who is in conversation with the government officials is the husband or the son. This doesn't happen unknowingly. It happens openly. Similarly, a business is started in the name of a woman as there are more subsidies and more profits. The schemes that are there, the safety measures that are there, help women partially. Not only external factors have to be changed. The mindset of people, men and women, to learn to treat each other equally as per National Crime Records Bureau, the NCRB. In 2020, India recorded 19 dowry deaths every day. This is like a two-way street now. On one side, mothers tend to pass on the things that worked for them to their daughters, giving the daughter the freedom to flee to safety. But as daughters grow up, their values differ because of what they learn. They understand the inequality and the wrong treatment of the mother by the father. The daughters come to the rescue of their mothers. When this is a two-way street, we are seeing changes. But a lot more has to happen. In a lot of places like Rajasthan and up, child marriages still happen. Sometimes marriages happen because there is lack of water facilities. The women are married off so that they can fetch water. Sometimes two sisters or a brother and sister are married off to the same family. In that case, if the girl suffers, we can't question the groom, because the other daughter or son is in the same family. Adjusting, fearing the wrong treatment of the other person. In case of marrying to fetch water, the second and third wives might be widows, or their husband would have left them. Such women are married off without any conjugal rights. The only thing they have to do is to fetch water. And they serve the man of the family who is seen as an heir. The women aren't prioritized, and hence the girls get married soon. Because in villages, there is the fear that the girl won't be able to marry even if there is a slight wrong gesture. Marrying off the girl young means less dowry has to be given. If the girls get a little older, the girl's family has to give more dowry. If the girls are not treated well by the groom's family and are made to suffer. If a girl is sent away from the groom's place, the girl can't work during pregnancy, or if they get sick they are sent away. Such women who are sent away even along with their child, also live in our country. For this to change, instead of using our privilege for our own good, how to share the privilege. And instead of defending that such things don't happen, we have to take steps to prevent such things from happening. And we have to take responsibility. All of this is discussed in the book. I haven't talked much about the facts because the facts are there in the books. I can't memorize it. But there is abuse for dowry, sexual abuse, and lack of basic rights. One thing was very relatable for me. We always see women as a victim with regard to their safety and crimes committed against them. But they are not victims. Walking on the streets at night is their right. When we see that as a right, we will make changes in the society. When we don't see it as a right, we will just be safeguarding the women. Seeing it as the right of a woman is very important. They have the right to be on the street or in a public place. How to make a public place safe for women? There should actually be more women on the streets. I found it very relatable. Because there is always fear when there are less number of women around. But when there are more women get the confidence to walk on the streets. So, women have to own up the public spaces again.